How's this?
You're right there. Perfect.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We did it.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast. We're back, baby. Oh, my God.
And you are...
We got a new sponsor. I'm Sean.
And I'm Rob Lowe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the actor.
No?
I'm just a guy named Rob that Rob Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
The store.
That's interesting. Do you have the same, like, criminal background as Rob Lowe, though?
No, completely
No?
opposite.
Opposite. So you were caught having sex with, like, an elderly woman?
She was actually, like, about 3 seconds away from being cremated.
Oh.
That's actually funny. I saw a story that
Yeah,
a lady...
you're like, my life really parallels this story.
No, it does, 100%. There was a lady
Okay.
in India, a 74-year-old, right?
Stay tuned.
And she was literally about to be cremated, and then she woke up. And so she wasn't dead, and they're about to cremate this bitch. Dude, do you know how fucking terrifying that would be and how shitty? Like, I thought Indians were supposed to be good doctors. Like, what the fuck? They
Not over there, I guess.
just the ones over here?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I guess
does
we
that
get
work?
the good ones.
I'm okay with that, though. But I just, like, the family already was, like, preparing because they thought this bitch was dead. And then she just wakes up. She's like, "Oh my God!"
Was she just taking a nap?
I
Like,
don't know.
just
She had
like,
she had
just a power
corona.
nap. Just a,
So, yeah, so it was like they thought she died from
What
that.
if they knew she was alive and they're just like,
They said, "Fuck this bitch."
we got to get a cleansing going
Yeah,
on.
Graham pissed me off. She keeps moving the remote, and I tell her not to.
They'd rather pay the expense for the burning bill than they would the hospital bill.
Plus, it's so much easier to lug around a bag of ash than
Yeah.
just a bag of bones. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, for sure. Anyways, guys, we're the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast. We are back. We've had several hiatuses now. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe, the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast channel. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google Play.
Basically, there's a bunch of them, honestly.
If you search the word podcast and you find any type of platform, check it. We're probably on there.
Yeah.
We're on so many, we don't even know the ones that we're on.
It's mind-blowing.
We get emails every time there's a new one that, like, we get put onto, so we don't even pay attention to them.
Because
but
we're
make sure you're
so
also
big and
following us
successful.
on Twitter at Real Clean Closet. You can also
Correct.
find us using that same @name on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Or you can use our full name to find our Facebook page, The Cleaning Out My Closet Podcast. But again, you can use our @name at Real Clean Closet.
Yes,
Julian
sir.
handles the Twitter. I mostly handle the YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
And
like any
Julian
comments and
also
stuff
does
on
like
that.
the TikTok shit too.
Yeah, I've been kind of took over the whole TikTok thing.
Oh, and make sure you're emailing us too.
Oh yeah, and
We
that's
always need to remember to
the
plug the
email
email.
is was that real clean or no shit, what the fuck is it? Cleaning out my podcast @gmail.com. That is what it is.
I always
All one
forget it
word.
too.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Because remember we originally tried to keep everything like the same, but someone had already taken
Right.
like originally what
That
we
was
fucking
so
do. So annoying. We still have to fucking beef. We have beef with this
that one other podcast.
We're
Yeah,
not
we
even
have
going to shout about because fuck these
Yeah.
bitches.
We gotta get on their asses
Yeah,
about
dude.
that for sure.
Get on and in all of that. So I wanted to start the episode off with a funny story that involves you a little bit.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah. So you had
Do I know about this? Was I conscious?
for
Conscious?
most for
Was I
most of it.
conscious?
Was you conscious, Jiminy Cricket? No, you were not. No, so you had posted something on Facebook the other day. It was a funny little meme. I can't remember exactly what it was,
Yeah.
but we had a little back and forth. And my comment out of it, all the comments
Well,
that
the
we
basic
had.
the premise of the meme was like,
Let me pull it up real quick.
yeah. So the idea was like, it was like I think it was like 3 frames.
Yeah.
And the first one is like, it says you saying something really suspicious.
Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to. Can't see
Go
it on
ahead.
the camera. Yeah, so it's fucking from Tom and Jerry, and it's the fucking cat fighting the dog.
Okay.
And it's the sword fighting says my homie threatening to suck my toes, me threatening to jerking off my homie, and then it has fucking the little mouse like what the fuck, and it's my family seeing my public post.
Right. So I remember you commented and you what was it you said?
They just don't get it. That's all I said.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
said
how it
they
started.
just don't get it, and I was just what did I say?
He said, keep commenting like that, and I'm going to put a ring on that finger. So, which I replied, which I thought was tasteful. I'd rather you put put it on a different appendage.
Yeah. And then what did I say?
You said, bitch, I'll suck your cock, but you spelled C0CK.
Right,
so
because they sent me a thing and they were just like, this violates our community. And so I was like, I got to change it. But I didn't I wasn't sure if it was bitch or cock, like which word was going to fucking violate whatever.
Probably both.
And I think it's such bullshit. I can't even comment these things on my own Facebook anymore.
So yeah, that's where I fucking commented back and I said, bitch, bet you won't. I got flagged for
bitch.
For bullying.
Yeah.
And I got
that was hilarious
put in fucking jail.
On my thing.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I just want to let you know that I was the one that reported you.
I figured, you fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got like 10 hours out of jail, and then I got thrown back in because of Billie fucking Eilish.
I reported you to Facebook, and I also reported your shitty parenting. So
what's the?
I'm actually here to pick up the kids.
Yeah, about that. I don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would help me find them.
Scavenger hunt.
My favorite. So that's how I spend most of my days.
Yeah, what did you do to Billie Eilish?
So okay, I was just scrolling through Facebook.
Assaulted her?
No, I wish.
Now that she's 18.
I wish. Call back.
She's 18 now.
Okay, no. So I'm just taking a shit, scrolling on Facebook.
For your protection, Billie.
Yeah, allegedly. And I'm scrolling down, and just a random article pops up because she was recently on like the cover of Vogue or some magazine like that.
If you say
and
so.
She's wearing like, pretty provocative clothing. It looks like lingerie.
It was like
and stuff.
lingerie.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah, you
it's
saw
like
that,
the most
right?
tame lingerie I've ever.
No, for sure. It's
it was
nothing
like your grandmother's lingerie.
It wasn't bad or anything. All I
People
commented.
made such a big deal about it.
Yeah. So all I had commented was, "Wow, this is a real genuine case of butterface."
Fuck that little boy.
Of butterface. And then someone instantly commented, "What do you mean by that? What's that?" I was like, everything looks good on her, but her face. And then they comment back, "You're such a piece of shit," but all this.
You
and
cannot
then
go for Billie Eilish.
Apparently not.
You can't because people stand
it
her
wasn't
so hard.
But dude, come on, it's a compliment. I said she has a good body. It's just
and
her
the other
face.
part.
She looks like that one actor from that played Green Goblin in the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
she's got the
Dane
same...
DeHaan.
Sure, she's got the same face as that guy.
The guy from Chronicle.
Chronicle of Riddick.
No. It was that superhero movie. It had Michael B. Jordan, where it was like these three high school friends, like all wind up getting like telekinetic powers. It was like a found footage film from like the early 2010s.
I don't know. I'll pull it up and.
Okay, pull up the cast of Chronicle. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Dane DeHaan.
Chronicle. Let's see.
Michael B. Jordan's in it.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not that guy though. It's not.
You said the guy who played Green Goblin.
Yeah, no, I fucked up. Guy that looks like.
Are you talking about William Dafoe?
Yeah.
Billie Eilish looks like William Dafoe.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, fuck me, dude. I like how you were just like, you thought you were going to get away with fucking saying anything negative about Billie Eilish on the internet.
It wasn't negative, like I said. It was a compliment.
Right.
They took it. That's
Billie, listen.
Not my fault they took it that way. Yeah. So yeah, I got fucking put back in jail, and I'm out now. So I know I learned my lesson. Don't
you
comment.
went back to Billie's page.
I was like, "You stupid bitch."
I got a couple words for you.
Do
you remember? I just remembered this this morning, like when I was taking a shit. Do you remember when we found the Saudi YouTube?
Dude, that was fucking intense.
Saudi, however you pronounce it.
I've heard it both ways.
I remember Julian was like, "Dude, I think that there's some type of fucking like somebody stealing our content," and I was like, "What?" So he's like, "I found this website." And it's like re-uploading our fucking YouTube.
Well, it's not just I found the website. When I just Googled like our podcast name in Google, that was the first thing that popped up.
So you go to it, and it was like a weird like version of you, but like it took me some finagling, and then I realized it was just like the Saudi Arabian version of fucking YouTube.
Right.
It's slightly different because it was like our podcast, our channel was there, our subscriber count was there, everything was the same. And it was so fucking
It was so just weird though, because like
we had this weird experience where we're like, fuck. So
terrorists are watching our shit.
We're talking to each other and we're just like, who the fuck would want to steal our podcast? we're like, us?
I thought it was
really?
like a fucking like scenario where it's like Taco from The League, where he's like in that soap opera from like Iraq or whatever. He's like super big there. Like our podcast is like the biggest thing there. We're like the Joe Rogan of podcasts in Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, we're huge over there.
Pretty big. Bin Laden really likes us.
Yeah. They really appreciate our stance on women's rights. That's why they're such huge fans.
They have the right to make me a sandwich.
Yeah. No, so I don't know why, but that memory came into my head, and that was like months ago that we came to this a while ago. Discovery where we like came across like Saudi Arabian YouTube. It was fantastic. Okay. Oh, did you realize in the last episode we had like a conversation where you said we need to bring back like casual robe? Like, Like, so my birthday's in a couple of days.
Believe you need to do that.
My birthday's in a couple of days. First of all, I forgot all about that conversation.
Oh, okay.
So I did not remember this at all. So Benexi goes, "Oh, one of your gifts came in the mail today," and she made me open it, and I open it, and when I look at it, and like she's like, "Open your eyes." It's like a silk
It's divorce
robe.
Papers.
It's a silk robe.
Oh,
like a really nice silk robe.
Dude,
like,
fuck yeah.
Like some fucking like rich billionaire fucking scumbag
Dude,
shit.
I'm telling you, you put that robe on and you just feel like $1 million.
Dude, I said to her, I said to her, she's like, "Do you like it?" I was like, "Do I like it?"
I fucking love it.
I literally said, "Do I like it?" I feel like a ghost is gonna wake me up and tell me my life in the future is looking bleak. That's how much I like that shit. I'm fucking Scrooge over here with this thing on. It's so nice.
The ghost that comes back is Hugh Hefner. He just guides you through your fucking life.
It's R. Kelly. I'm like, "You're dead?" He's like, "No, I'm the ghost of his career."
I bet you really.
No, she got me this fucking nice ass robe. I totally forgot about the conversation, so I had no idea what the fuck it was gonna be. Like the packaging, I was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's soft and shit." So I'm like
shaking it.
I'm like, "All right, it's clothing, right?" And she was like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Well, unless it's the world's most flexible laptop," because I was like fucking like going like this and shit.
It's a puppy. You
it's
open
like
it up, it's
microfiber.
like all dead. It's like...
She's like, "I had your mom FedExed over here. We vacuum sealed her." Mom!
It's just like a goop
you have to
of
unfold her and shit. Mom!
It's like Flat Stanley or whatever.
Dude, remember that fucking book?
Unfortunately, that thing terrified me, dude. Fucking
yeah, no, she got me a robe, and
fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
Pretty cool. Like, I had one back.
So she got it because of the conversation we had on the podcast? Nice.
Literally.
Dude, that's
Which
awesome.
I was like, "Oh, what prompted you to get this?" And she was like, "Oh, you had that conversation with Julian about getting robes." And I was like, "I did?" I was like, "When the fuck was this?"
She's like,
I was listening last
again.
episode. And I was like, "What?" So then she proceeded to like scrub through the full episode to find the conversation to show it
that's
to me.
So funny.
And
it was
okay,
even
cool.
funnier too, because that episode was recorded probably like 2 months ago.
Right.
So that's like a forever ago conversation. That's dope though.
Okay. I got something super quick that I want to bring up to you right now. Can you please, and this goes to everyone in the audience as well, please do this right now.
What do you got?
Okay, if you're watching the podcast, if you're listening to the podcast, whatever you're doing, stop and search this right now for me. Julian, please go ahead and search this on your phone.
Alrighty.
Do not show it to the camera because
Two
this
girls, one cup?
is not allowed to show up on film.
Oh, God.
Okay, search Space Movie 1992.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You saw this?
This has made the rounds a few times
on TikTok. You saw this?
I didn't see it on TikTok. I've just seen it like previously, just like Twitter, Facebook.
What the fuck?
Oh, dude, it's
I don't even know where to begin with this.
You know what? Is more impressive though is the rating. It's got a way better rating than I thought.
It's got a pretty good rating.
Like 6 out of 10.
People must like this fucking movie. Okay, guys, everyone at home who doesn't know what we're talking about, please, I implore you, Google
It's called
Space Movie.
GN from Outer Space. And you could use your imagination as to what
Dude,
GN...
don't let them find the magic show on their own. You don't reveal the trick. The magician just allows them to experience it.
True. So you saw this on TikTok, though.
I saw it on TikTok. And
so is this the first time that you've seen it?
Hell yeah.
Really?
No, dude, I was like, what the fuck is this?
I remember like seeing this probably like fucking 5 years ago, maybe.
Oh, he's like a hipster. Ooh, he's a hipster.
I was cool before he was cool.
Yeah. I was jerking off to 2 Girls, 1 Cup before they even got it online. I was in the room.
Who
I was
do you
holding
think
the
filmed
camera.
it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We're on the same page over here.
R.
Kelly's ghost is gonna visit
allegedly,
you.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm not his lawyer. Allegedly. No. Speaking of jerking off, I do have a fun story.
I've got tons.
So I recently did a little shrooms.
Oh right, yeah.
And it wasn't like an obscene amount. Just enough to just have a nice little trip. But probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours into it, my body just starts feeling really good. So I'm like,
start growing mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm like it's inside the couch, just fucking like it's that.
And you're like looking. Oh, there's the littlest mushroom right here.
Look at him! Oh, look at him grow.
Holly, come look at this.
So, anyways,
she's like, yeah, that's nothing new.
I'm like, like I said, feeling good. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go jerk off. I bet you it's gonna feel amazing. So I'm going jerking off, and I'm doing my thing. Probably a couple minutes into it. And I kind of stand up for a second, stretch out a little bit, and I look down.
You stand up in the middle of jerking off?
Yeah.
You needed to stretch in the middle of jerking off?
Not necessarily like a stretch. Like, I don't know. Just kind of looks like... I'm like,
Jesus.
My body was just feeling good, bro. So I just stood up. I was like, just did like a little stretch, and then I looked down.
My hammies.
And like, I'm looking at the ground, and I see the rug and the floor. And
you're like, I'm going to fuck that.
And then it just like it snapped. I was like a voice in my head's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Stop touching yourself. I'm just like, oh, and I pull my pants back up. I'm like, what am I doing? And just like,
you're like, the blender's talking to me.
I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, and so like, I'm just like, go do music. So I start working on
like
some
with
music.
Your dick out?
No, I put my pants back on, but I'm just like,
dude, I would have loved if Holly came home and you did all these things and your dick is still hard. Like you're like, Holly, you gotta listen to the song I recorded, and she's like, why are you? No, shh, just come.
I'm like cooking like a fucking full course meal.
You
my
did the
dick is
dishes.
out.
You put the girls down.
I'm doing the dishes and I don't even notice it, but my dick keeps hitting the dishes.
I wish you did it in the daytime though, so you like mowed the lawn and like the neighbors just see you walking around with a fucking hard on.
I just got my dick resting on the fucking lever that keeps it going.
Yeah, they call the cops. They're like, "There's this Mexican outside," and I mean, he's doing a really good job with the lawn care. It looks really incredible.
Good, yeah. But his dick's
and like,
out.
I'd love his number, but like, maybe we need to resolve this first.
No, I just thought it was funny. I just like, no, stop playing with your dick, dude.
That's hilarious.
It was
I definitely
an interesting night though.
What's it called? Whenever the highest I've ever been was doing edibles. I never did mushrooms or anything like that. But I think I've talked about my whole edible experience like on the podcast before.
Dude, that was forever. That was when I was living in the apartment. Like that's how long ago that shit was.
But for me, like when I'm super fucking high, it's very different than when I'm like drunk or something like that. Because like being drunk, I'm very outspoken. Like I can't shut the fuck up. Like I have to say whatever's on my mind and I just spew, right?
Right.
When I'm high, I'm always like checking myself because I'm just like, careful with that thought. I'll be like, hold on.
I definitely feel, like when you're drinking, you're the filter that you have a lot of like thoughts going on, but that filter of like, should I say that, is kind of just like whoop out the fucking door.
Yeah, and I'm just
whereas
like,
when you're stoned, you're kind of like,
say it and hurt them with it.
have all these thoughts going in, but you're like, let me think about how that's gonna like be the outcome.
I probably go over something like 10 times.
Right.
So I feel like I'm super reserved when I'm high, but not by like like it's not natural to me. It's like through necessity because I've had experiences where I've been like high and shit, or like the worst for me is when I'm crossfaded and I'm like, I was at a party one time and there was I was drinking and I was smoking and I was completely fucked. And I remember it was a huge house party. And I remember my friends introducing me to their other friends, and it was their house. It was my friend's house party. So it was like, meet my friends, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, guys, blah, I've heard so much about you. They're like, oh, we've heard so much about you. You're cool, blah, 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 this and that, right?
You just become best friends.
And I don't know these fucking people at all. And it's just me and like these 3 strangers, and my friend leaves. So then I'm just like, I'm stuck with these fucking people. Dude, and he's like, I'll be right back. And I'm like, and I'm too fucked up. So I'm like, fuck, I don't know.
Here, I'm stuck.
So they're talking to each other and I'm just kind of stuck standing there and I don't know what to do.
You're just like that awkward third wheel thing.
So, and I'm crossfaded. And so like my filter system is all fucked up. It's all over the place. And I just remember like there was a moment of silence in the conversation and there was 2 girls and 1 guy, and the one guy was like a kind of skinny black dude, and I just like everyone stopped talking, and I looked over and I go,
I'm totally into interracial things.
no. So I go, so you're black? Like straight up asked a question to this dark skinned fucking black man, like, and everyone stared at me, and I go, never again. And I didn't address it. I walked away. He's like, yeah, and I walked away after he said yeah, like as if I'm just like like I just fucking leave like an idiot.
Way to fucking go, guy.
And I never mentioned it to my buddy, but I'm sure they were just like, dude, what the fuck is up with your friend?
That was definitely like, yo, as soon as you walked out,
and I never saw those people at another one of their parties again.
And they're probably happy for that.
They were like, man, this fucking Ku Klux Klan member was at your party, dude.
Yeah, you're like, so you're black?
Yeah, it's like the fucking thing from Scary Movie. When what's his name? When DJ Rex, when he does his rap battle, remember at the end and he puts the hood up?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's like the hood. He's like, yeah,
we're in the hood. We're in the hood.
Yeah, like, no, lose the hood.
Exactly.
That was the best. That was the last like good one.
Yeah, it was. I
think that was what, the third.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so I gotta take this fucking thing off. Let me pull up my fucking notes again, man. So yeah, I was telling you, like, I was going over my list, and a lot of it was like kind of music related shit.
Oh right, yeah.
Fucking j.cole dropped an album.
I still haven't heard it. Yeah.
You haven't listened to it yet?
No.
Dude, it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good.
He's like one of those guys where I like his music. But I've never been like, oh my god, and I totally like, I can completely agree when people are like, he's in my top 10, he's in my top 5. Right. I'm like, I get you. It just never reaches like
you prefer like Bad Barbie and
yeah, no, exactly.
I know what you're
I'm
into.
a big fan of like Whoa Vicky, Bad Barbie, Bad Baby. Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Same difference. There's probably a Bad Barbie too.
Yeah,
they're gonna collaborate. It's gonna be fucking plastic.
My favorites are Cardi B.
Naturally,
number one,
top 10 at least.
I like to go like Fat Joe, but like within the past like 2 years.
Oh yeah, definitely 2-year Fat Joe. You probably never heard of this rapper. She's really fucking good. Queen Latifah. She's so nice with it. She just does pussy
like
farts on the mic.
Like a porn parody.
It's fucking. She beatboxed with it.
Dude, imagine they recreated like the Def Jam, like fucking the games.
Oh
like,
yeah, the fucking Def Jam. What was it? Vendetta? No, not Vendetta. Just like Def Jam Fights or some shit, right?
Something like that.
I remember playing the fuck out of it though, dude.
They were the best.
Dude, it was so fucking.
It was the
dope.
best. You'd be like, "I'm Coolio," and you're just like,
Method Man, Joe Budden.
This is the coolest shit ever.
Oh, dude.
It was that's a game series where like it's both like a conundrum, like how the fuck did this exist? Like
right.
who gave this the green light?
That was like around the time they were doing like the celebrity boxing and shit.
Yes.
You remember how that was like a big fucking thing?
Yeah.
Like celebrity boxing. You would watch it like on Friday night. Fucking Gary Coleman.
Now we have like Dancing with the Stars. I don't want to watch that. I
want to
see
them throw fists, not fucking
get
kick
Anna
legs.
Nicole Smith coked up, put some boxing gloves on her, and
Just
fucking
put
Coke her
on the fucking glove. Oh, and she
like,
fights Tyson.
It's fucking Gary Coleman and Vern Troyer. Like he's got him on his shoulders.
Aren't they both dead?
Yeah, they are.
The ghost.
He's like working him
R.
like
Kelly's
the mouse from
guy.
Ratatouille.
R. Kelly's their corner guy.
Dude,
allegedly.
Yeah, like can we get these fucking remember we had things like the Surreal Life where it was basically
that's still going though, isn't it?
Is it? I don't think so.
No, I thought it was.
You know, where they got the fucking like has-been celebrities. They threw them in a house like it was the real world.
It wasn't like Vanilla Ice and like one of them.
Yeah, that was like season 2 or 3. Yeah, Vanilla Ice and Ron Jeremy,
and
where he had that huge blow up at him because he voted him out. Like he went against his word because they were real life friends.
Right.
And then he fucking flipped out on him. Remember, he's like smashing shit.
Dude, I just remember fucking. He also had that other spin. Not I don't know. It's not a spinoff, but that like Home Improvement type of fucking. Or like
Vanilla Ice. Yeah, he had like a contract.
Some bullshit like that.
Company. Like here in Florida, I don't know what the fuck. Apparently he's like I think he's like a fucking Trump supporter now, which like whatever.
I mean, he's white.
But he's also like a COVID denier apparently too.
Does he think the Earth's flat as well?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Isn't there like a new theory where it's like the moon is a hologram? Or have we talked about that?
No, that was the Twin Towers you were telling me about.
There is that is theory that
I think it's your theory. I think you confirmed that last episode.
Speaking of celebrity nonsense, did you hear that there was a rumor that Bill Cosby was going to get released from prison? It's not true. He's not getting released. Like, that's not true. Yeah. But
conjugal visits.
Jesse Jackson is pleading, I think, with the I wrote it down in my notes. Let me pull the thing up so I'm not misquoting myself. Jesse Jackson has requested the state of Pennsylvania re-examine the risks Cosby faced while in prison due to the coronavirus pandemic. That's directly from an article.
That motherfucker.
So he's trying to get him released early, like, because they're saying that it's like dangerous for him to be in prison during the virus and stuff.
Fuck him.
I was just like, somebody shoot a fucking vaccine at this guy. Like, Rambo this shit. Are you kidding me? Fuck him.
Or I'm going to say just let him
go?
Yeah, just let him die. Like, fuck it.
Remember when we had them all on farms? And
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Take it back. Take it.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some take backs for sure. There was something I was going to fucking bring up, and
when your mule rapes 30-something women.
Allegedly.
You put the fucking thing down. Yeah, right. Allegedly, they could only get him for like a handful of them because the statute of limitations.
Dude, it was such bull. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. It ended up being like an obscene amount of people, but yeah, like
it was like 30-something women came forward, 20-something.
But it was like a span of like 30-some, 40-some years. So it's like like you said, some of them were
the
like
recent ones.
Which I think that's so like there's a statute, like there's a limit to fucking like something that horrible of a crime.
There's no statute of limitations for like murder or anything like that.
And I feel like obviously murder and rape and shit like that are like they're different extremes, but they should still be categorized in the same thing as like there shouldn't be a limitation of regardless of fucking
I completely
when
agree.
it happened. Like that's a little ridiculous.
I completely agree. Yeah, no, for sure. Because like,
but I guess like they look at it this way, like he's getting hit with all the other ones, so he's fucked either way.
If like I found out something happened to like my kid or something like that, and then you told me, well, it was so long ago, there's just nothing we can do about it. But they had all the proof now.
Punch you right in the face.
Like I would, like I'd be going to prison, murder, just straight up.
He's gonna
murder.
Fucking Frank Castle the whole system.
I'm gonna rape that guy's skull.
Wiley, I'm gonna get the recipe from Cosby.
I'm gonna spend 10 years going to medical school to figure out how I can insert my penis into a live skull, like and split the brain with my cock.
Wow, that's
while he's still alive. I won't sever any nerves.
I don't believe we have the technology for that yet.
Somehow adjust it so that he has all the feelings of his butthole like right in his brain.
Why don't you just put it?
I'm gonna travel into the future. Okay, I've got to build a time machine. I've got to spend my entire life devoted to quantum physics and future medical science.
Right.
Just to achieve this drastic.
And you plan to do this all on TikTok, correct?
Mm-hmm. And then I find out afterwards that I got the wrong guy.
It's the wrong Sean.
Like by the time I figure it out, they've already like cured human aging. So they're like, you're gonna spend 12 millenniums just fucking rotting in prison.
Oh, dude, that would be terrible. That would be fucking terrible.
These are the stories we come up with, folks.
What do you want to know about? Oh, yes, I knew what I was going to talk about. Did you see that Demi Lovato is now saying
she's non-binary?
Yeah, so the pronouns are they and them. Yeah. So I saw that trending the other day, right? The first thing that popped in my head.
They love heroin.
Yeah, no, I'm saying no. She found a loophole. Well, she's gonna get back on drugs, and she's like, "It wasn't me. That was them. I didn't do that.
Yeah,
they did that."
Yeah, she's like. Are you guys gonna crucify me for what a whole group of people does?
Yeah, whoa.
Last time I heard, that's not legal in this country.
Yeah, so she found a loophole. That's my thoughts on it. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what it is, dude. She don't give a fuck about the pronouns.
I don't. Yeah, no. I feel like a lot of people, like I think we talked about Elliot Page a little bit.
Yeah.
And how he
divorced his wife, right?
Yeah, he divorced his wife. He's now come out as a trans man and stuff like that. And again, like all support to you if you're happy and stuff like that. And that's great. Like, honestly.
Right.
But can somebody teach this man how to cut his fucking hair? Like,
right.
it's the issue of like every man has to find a barber,
yep.
And that's the man that is there at your funeral. That guy is with you from the day you meet him and you shake hands and you go, my God, he's the one. It's like meeting your partner. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you know. And like this guy clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, He's rocking the school fucking shooter cut, like officially the super cuts. Fucking, he's got like it looks like he's got chunks split out of his fucking bangs.
Like he's wearing a wig. Like it looks so
so
weird
absurd.
And just,
it's ridiculous.
It looks like it's a wig. It doesn't look real.
It's crazy to me. I'm just like, comparatively, you're almost making a worse man than Caitlyn Jenner makes a woman. Like, you guys are like, would match so well going to prom together.
Also, like, he looks exactly the same, you know what I mean? Like, just a different haircut. So, like,
that's true, but I don't think he's on, well, he might be on T now, but.
Like the uppercase?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he started like hormone therapy or anything like that, so it's kind of hard because like also it takes time for the changes. Like over time, like within like a year or two, you're gonna see huge differences. But who fucking knows? I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not a doctor yet, so I can't tell you. No, I did mention earlier about the J.Cole album dropping, and then you and I have both already seen the video, but another rapper, Token. He dropped that hij.cole song. That shit's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, it was what, like 4 different J.Cole?
Like 4 or 5 different J.Coles, and he just like flowing on it, going in and out with different flows and shit.
It was pretty dope. It was like some of the more like better known J.Cole beats too.
Yeah, like Role Model.
But I think it's pretty cool that then we talked about that asshole Tom McDonald.
Fuck that guy. He's so corny,
he's
dude.
So corny,
he's
bro.
so corny.
I know you called me and you were like, have you heard of this guy? And my response is, oh, he's so corny. And you're like, exactly.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, that's the best way to describe him. It's just someone who wants so bad to be the victim and is like, he's not a bad rapper by any means. He's just so generic.
It is very generic. Well, like I think I told you when we were having the conversation about him on the phone.
It's frustrating when you're just like, like everybody's always telling me I'm just like you. You're just like one of the best rappers of all time. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? We named our podcast after one of this guy's fucking songs.
Yeah,
like, calm the fuck down.
Is a piece of, I think.
I wouldn't name a turd after one of your fucking songs, dude.
I think
chill the fuck out.
Him, it's more the fact like he's found this little fucking niche bullshit thing where he like a pocket where he fits in or whatever.
It's it's similar to like the way that M had like a rise, right? Like he kind of like became the voice of a subsect of society, right? Like a group that felt like they didn't have a place in like this specific genre, right? There were a lot of like suburban white kids and trailer trash white kids that came together and were like, he's our guy.
Right, with M, he didn't feel forced when he was doing when he put stuff out like that, and he was like, calling out, different pop culture things. It had
two things. It had extreme talent.
Mm-hmm. And
that's it. That's what you need. No. It had extreme talent, and like also he was being honest. It was truthful. It came from a truthful place.
Right.
Now with this guy, I'm not saying like he's full of shit or anything like that, but it comes across as disingenuous because like when you're constantly talking about how I'm being victimized by cancel culture and this and that, we all know cancel culture is annoying, right? We all know it. But like in this day and age, like when you're able to just put shit out there like this guy is, and you keep talking about how like they call me controversial. I'm so controversial. No one wants to hear me talk. Bro, your shit is out there. It's out there. Everyone has heard it. People just do not like it. The only people who like it are the people that are just eating your shit up.
The thing,
well,
dude. Like, I don't understand.
Only his fans like his shit.
I mean, it's not to say the same with anyone,
right?
Now.
But to say that success is like, like only our fans like our podcast.
Exactly.
We're not fucking successful.
No, it doesn't mean anything. But I feel like he does get. I guess I don't know the actual numbers, but I feel like a lot of his views aren't even necessarily from fans. It's more for the fact like it's so clickbaity what he does,
right?
And all the songs he puts out, are very clickbaity. I feel like he's a generic ripoff of like Joyner Lucas in a sense, where how Joyner Lucas put out like that racist song. He's put out multiple songs that, where it's like talking about really controversial situations, issues, and stuff like that. But he does it.
You guys don't know who we're talking about. We're talking about the rapper Tom McDonald.
Yeah, Tom McDonald.
Go on.
So yeah, with him, it just feels so like you said, so corny, so generic, and it feels like he's pushing he keeps pushing it because he knows it's going to keep getting the clicks and views because of what it is, but it's not necessarily good or,
it also doesn't feel like, it's kind of a principle that we like to have here with the podcast, which is like, we don't necessarily talk about anything unless we have something of value to add to the conversation. Right. Sometimes you can't help it because everything's been said about a certain subject, right? Mm-hmm. So like, you feel like sometimes we just feel like, damn it, we just feel so passionately about this, we have to talk about it even though we don't have anything to say. But it always feels like every song he puts out, it feels like there isn't actually any passion behind any of it. It's all so generic. It's just that you're putting it out there because this is the thing. You know what I mean?
It's like
it's almost the talking points that your audience is going to latch onto, and that's fine. I'm not saying he disagrees with what he raps about. Right. It just never feels like it comes from a genuine place. It always feels like you said, like it's the catchy headline, it's the title, it's
it's almost like he sees what's trending on Twitter. He's the tabloid
magazine of fucking rap.
Yeah, he sees what's trending.
Put that in a rap, bro.
Makes a fucking song.
That's
about
what
it.
You are. You're the National Enquirer. I don't know. That's just my fucking fuck this guy. I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, no, I'm done talking about that.
I just get frustrated when like he's just like that song you showed me. He was like, people keep comparing me to you. Yeah, stupid people. Are you kidding me? One of the most talented lyricists of like the past like fucking 2 decades. No weird idiots compare him to you.
And it's people that know Eminem from this 10 years, you know what I mean? They don't know him from like early 2000s. Just being like a
controversial figure, right? Like, but not being like the incredible lyricist that he is. Like, okay, you're controversial, bro. Like, what the fuck? So what? I've had controversial shits before. Are you kidding me? Like,
it doesn't make me successful.
I'm not gonna start comparing them to fucking Eminem. Like, my turds are just like you. You have no idea. They have the same mannerisms and everything. When I fart, they sound just like your lyrics. Like, dude, calm the fuck down. Relax. And I'm sure he's like, I'm not the one saying that. Other people are saying that. Well, chill your audience the fuck out because this is how you know you have a shitty fan base when they compare your generic ass rap to one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't made it not because people don't like the subject matter you're talking about. That's a huge portion, I would say. That's a huge portion, sure.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know this guy outside of like I've listened to this song.
I've heard. I've actually heard. He came out with this song like I think.
Well, I know he's come up with a bunch of different. I've seen him like before. I just never go out of my way to fucking.
And he talked about like the industry using depression and like addiction and stuff like that to push narratives of like he was basically talking about how like it's glamorized now that like people are like suffering from depression and stuff like that. And I was like, sure, I get the message. It's clear. It wasn't presented in like an incredibly nuanced way. There weren't like, I can't say that there were any bars that stick out to me or any lines that are memorable.
Well, it's almost in the
like,
same
I get
vein
what you're saying,
as
but
like
when
that's Logic dropped that 1-800 thing. You know what I mean? The message behind it is, it's something that's like
exactly
genuine
the same shit.
Stuff,
I hate that fucking song.
But the way the song was, it's just so corny. It comes off just
I hate that song in the same way I hate his entire fucking discography. Like, he does the same corny shit every song that I've heard. I don't know. Maybe you've got some like fucking party anthems and shit on there. But whenever you seem to come out with a new song, it is the same fucking thing, and it's just so mind-numbing to me that I don't want to fucking... It's never a beat that I fucking care for all that much. The flow is generic. The lyrics are generic. Right. The choruses are fucking mind-numbing. Yeah. You have the soul... Oh, my God. All the auto-tune on the choruses.
The one thing that
I'm over it, bro. Fuck Tom McDonald.
Well, I just want to finish off with one thing that I did like about the whole story with the Tom McDonald Dear Slim song. Mm-hmm. So the backstory behind that was... a few years ago, Eminem had put out some NFTs of some of his beats some of his earlier beats that he made, and that's the beat that he had bought for $100,000 and used for that song.
Yeah.
So it's like,
what a waste! What a waste!
No, I guarantee he made his fucking money back on that easily though. I just attaching it to like having Emma as a producer and attaching his name to it, which is kind of it's kind of shitty, but it's a smart move.
I would rather have fucking Machine Gun Kelly have bought that beat and done something with it than this fucking guy, man.
No, for sure. I
don't fuck with MGK's music either, but I think he's more talented than this fucking guy. And I
don't mind him too much. Like some of his stuff is a little not like my taste, but
what I do want to bring up real quick is Have you seen this thing about like fast food joints like having to fucking close and stuff because
I saw
all their
it
employees?
was trending yesterday. I think McDonald's was doing like some type of fucking like boycott where the employees were like not going to show up or some shit.
Yeah, I mean it's going on. Like there's
is that what you're talking about though?
Not specifically McDonald's, but
that's the one
like
I
just
saw.
like a bunch of fast food places like here in America because everybody
they
realized
want
that
more money.
They can make more money just being on unemployment rather than working at these fucking places.
Well, I thought they were starting to cut off some of the unemployment stuff. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they cut back on like if you apply to it now, or I don't remember. I remember, but they kept adding extensions after deadlines kept ending.
Right.
You know, so I don't even know where it's at right now. I have no fucking clue.
I actually saw and read a couple things like supposedly there's another stimulus check that might possibly be coming in. Like I'm just like I don't
that's
even
gonna
fucking
get
know.
cut back. Like
probably.
They've spaced them out over months.
Dude,
like it's
seriously.
so ridiculous that they're like,
it's not
and
even
here
helpful.
you go now. All these people are dead.
I've already sucked dick for $5 for the past 5 months. Where was this fucking stimulus check then?
I've been so low. I've been listening to Tom McDonald fucking music.
Save me, Jesus. Hallelujah.
Yeah, him and that fucking Logic song. I don't like both make me want to kill myself, and kill other people.
Hey,
I'm gonna go get Elliot Page's haircut while I listen to these fucking songs and just shoot up a school and then kill myself.
Do you think that's what happened with the last shooting? You listened to
it was Elliot Page.
Yes.
No,
and that's why she's transitioning.
So basically, what I love about this though is that it really shows you the issues of our country's like dependency on capitalism, right? And I'm in no way like a socialist, right? But I do believe in like
more like a terrorist.
Yeah. I do believe in things like universal health care and stuff like that. Like, so I have some socialist ideas, I guess you could say, but that doesn't mean like I'm just like throw away capitalism. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, capitalism is a great way to incentivize people to work, right? It works really well for that, right?
I think we've had that conversation before. Like neither one of us, and I think most people fall in the same category. They don't fall one way or another completely, you know what I mean?
Of course.
There's definitely like things that they gravitate towards from each, side politically or whatever the case may be.
But in this day and age, so many people are just like, you're either this or you're either that.
Which is a little
and then a lot of people have
retarded.
issues with people who are like, I'm in the middle. And to me, it's more insane to think like, you can only be one side or the other. It always frustrates me when people are like, these guys who are in the middle, they're such undecided pussies. Like, it's crazy to me that you're like, you're either over here or you're over here. Right. Who does that benefit? When we're like, oh, we got to be on this side or the other of the fence. Like, doesn't it make more sense as a society that all of us would be on the fence about all issues? Right? Doesn't it seem like it would be more productive? But nobody wants to have that conversation. Everybody's like, you're either here, you're over here. These pussies in the fucking middle, like, just playing with their dicks like they're Julian on mushrooms.
It happens to the best of us, honestly.
So I think it's funny because it's a great display of like the fact that minimum wage is supposed to be a livable wage. Right? Like you're supposed to be able to survive off of it.
Right.
That's the fucking point of it. So it's such a ridiculous concept that like so many people came to the realization like we can make more if we don't fucking work. We can just make more. And then like watch the fucking country suffer from that. And this is a great display of like, okay, so these giant corporations get all of these tax breaks and all this incentive to fuck over their employees, and they get to give themselves raises every fucking couple of quarters and have mansions and speedboats and fucking cars and stuff like that, but they can't pay their employees enough to keep them out of like Section 8, right? It's a little ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's so fucking funny because now we're just gonna see all of these people. We're just gonna see more and more people deciding. I want to look into it. I'll go on unemployment. Fuck it. I'll just stop showing up for work. They'll fire me, and then I'll go on unemployment.
No, for sure. I want to look into it because I know like places. I know like Canada was one of them that I don't know if they continued doing it. But,
that they've been doing. They've
like
been
every month. Yeah, every month they were. I
don't know if they're still doing it. Yeah, but they were.
I know. So I want to see the difference. There's going to be huge.
And there's issues
difference
with that, right? That like Canada's got issues too with like even with their universal health care, because like everyone has this idea that like you say things like universal health care or an increase to minimum wage or something, and then there's all these like talking points of this doesn't work because of this and that doesn't work. Well, how about we take things that do work and we tweak them. We figure it out instead of using the system we know is broken.
And that goes right back to what you were saying. You know what I mean? People don't want to ride in the middle and look at both sides,
right.
like from an actual third person point of view. We're like, okay, yeah, that stuff does work. That stuff does work. Why don't we?
It's like, can we all just agree that people dying in the streets is bad, right. and if you can't buy your baby diapers and baby food, it's bad. Like that's issue, it, right? Like can we all be in the middle on that? And
you're gonna have some guy in the back, wait, I don't know. That baby shouldn't have, it's his fault for fucking being here. And you know what? I'm gonna tell him, fuck that baby and his goddamn formula.
Look at the color of its skin. Remember when we had him on farm?
Jesus Christ.
So, no,
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
But seriously, like, it is fucking sad that we've reached this point where it's like, now that the corporations are quote unquote suffering, that's when everybody has to take a re-examination of like, oh man, maybe this doesn't work. Yeah, no shit, it hasn't been working for a couple of decades.
Right.
Like, and there's so many people that are like, let's keep it going. Like, this is the greatest country in the world. Like, fuck, man, that doesn't mean there's no problems. Right. You might believe that, but like, just because the country works really well for you or your grandparents or your family doesn't mean that it works that well for the 90 other % of the fucking people that live here. The thing
is, dude, everyone, and not by any fault or anything, everyone is just kind of stuck in this little bubble, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're, what's relative to them is within a small mile radius of, just wherever you live. So things that are happening in fucking Arizona, that doesn't affect me here in Florida at all. Mm-hmm. Things that are happening in, whatever, so you can pick any fucking state. It doesn't matter. It's not really affecting you in the same sense that it's affecting other people. So to look at it that way, like, I'm doing fine, everyone around me is doing fine, so everyone else should be doing fine, you know what I mean? That's not really how it works realistically. And, like you said, there should be a point where we kind of look at it like, okay, guys, yeah, we're not going to agree on everything. It's not possible. But let's take a baseline of what we know is not right and what is wrong with the country and work our way up from that. You know what I mean?
Like, how do you not? Real problem is that we politicized
everything.
We politicized a virus.
A fucking a goddamn virus.
It became like this political fucking thing where if you agree with this or that, it's a virus. Right. It's a thing that's killing people. Why are we turning like? Everybody had all these theories and conspiracies and stuff like that. Dude, just fucking listen to what professionals tell you to do. And that's
the scientists don't know shit, man.
It's so ridiculous. I know people that don't fucking believe in wearing seatbelts and stuff like that, but you do it.
Right.
Right? You fucking do it.
What don't they believe about wearing a seatbelt?
I had an uncle. Well, he's not technically an uncle. But
he's not technically alive anymore. He died, flew out the fucking windshield. Should have been wearing a seatbelt.
I was in a car with him one time when we got into an accident, and like he never told me to put on a seatbelt, and he didn't wear it either.
What the fuck?
So like. He was just like, those things get you killed, like the seatbelts. Like he was one of those guys who was just like, you die more from wearing
statistically.
But like, here's the thing: is like but you would be like, the science backs up this thing.
Right.
Those people don't want to fucking listen, right?
No,
it's the same exact thing.
You could do that because with any category.
What do they say?
Sure.
Then they'll be like, oh, well, that statistic, somebody fucked with the numbers on that. There's always an excuse as to why it didn't work. And then you go, well, what about this thing that accredited the statistic that you're saying isn't thing? Well, that corporation is clearly corrupt and they're in bed with this thing. There's always a scapegoat for like the thing, right? There's always a way to be like, you're just playing mental gymnastics with yourself and just going like, well, no, this and that. And then
well, you're just trying to, at that point, you're just kind of convince yourself that whatever you believe in
what
is
I never understand
right
about
thing.
people who say stuff like that, like I don't understand when the whole election stuff happened and they were like, it's a fraud, it's election fraud, they stole it. They, when everyone was coming out with evidence that said no, they didn't, over and over again, even the Trump supporting states were like, we looked at it, no, they didn't. Not to make this political, guys, but like it's the mindset that I'm talking about. I'm not speaking about the specific, people or anything like that. I'm talking about what's confusing about that mindset is that they kept having a thing where they were just like, well, clearly these people were gotten to. You guys used to be supporters and now you're not anymore. And then clearly this. And then every time some type of new information would contradict something and they'd be like, no, you're wrong for sure. They'd be like, well, nope, clearly the thing above that thing is this thing. And it just kept going. And it's circular. It's Terminator.
It's all back to Terminator. No, I don't even know how we even got onto this politicalness topic or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't know, man. But like I said, there's even with things like minimum wage is supposed to be a livable wage.
Right.
Unquestionably. If you're saying that it's not, then what you're saying to me is that what 90-something% of the country is supposed to live off of isn't supposed to be livable. Do you hear how ludicrous that sounds?
Yeah, right.
You're saying to me that like your life isn't worth like anything, like most of this country's life isn't worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't argue to me that it's the best country in the world and be like, but we don't value like 95% of the people here. Like we could give two fucks about your life. Like,
but we got McDonald's at every corner.
It's the best fucking country in the like. Come on. Let's acknowledge, like, you can love this country as much as you want, and I have no faults with that, and I'll stand with you for those rights.
That's
but
the
acknowledge
difference,
its
though.
faults.
Yeah, there's a difference between being supportive of the country you're from, or
and
America,
being critical of it,
and then
loving it and being critical,
but
of
also realizing from a realistic point and just a realistic standpoint. I mean, where we are as a country, it's not. This like
it doesn't work for everybody.
No, it doesn't. And it hasn't. For as long as
forever.
For as long as it's been around. But that doesn't mean we can't do things to kind of better the situation. And that's my biggest issue when it comes to things like that. I think
so many people hear that though, and they think, well, improving the situation for these people
is going to affect me
negatively.
Well,
right?
It's that mentality of like not enough for everyone to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not the case. You know what I mean?
What we're trying to do here, right, is we're trying to tweak it
so we're running for president 2024. Yeah. Trump, here we come.
We're gonna sew ourselves together, become Siamese twins, like the first artificial Siamese twins.
What was that that movie Stuck on You?
Yeah. With fucking Matt Damon. What a
that was such
the fact that they couldn't get Ben Affleck though, like dude. Imagine that movie.
He was Matt Damon's probably like, no, I will not do it with Ben Affleck. He smells like alcohol and cigarettes.
Yeah. So it's so weird to me. Like we're just trying to get everything like at a place where it seems fair for everyone, right?
Right.
Because so many people are at such a disadvantage, and just because we've spent the past couple hundred years trying to correct so many different things doesn't mean we're at the place where we can just go slow down. We've already done everything we can do. That's clearly not true. There's still so many problems, and there's so many people who are so far behind from everybody else. And it's clearly affecting specific groups of people, and people who live below a certain level of income, people who are a certain skin color, people who come from certain backgrounds, people who have a certain sexual orientation, whatever it might fucking be.
Right.
Statistically speaking, these are the disenfranchised people of this country. So that's like wherever you fall on, but like if you're if you're gonna be the person that's just like, well, no, those statistics are fudge. Somebody fucked with it, and then I'm like, well, no, actually, it's that person who's just like,
right.
Come on, let's be serious about this. We can love this country, and we can be critical of it, and we can want it to change for the betterment.
I honestly, I think you should want that though. You know what I mean? As a person that
if you
really,
are someone who loves this country.
Exactly, you should want the betterment, not just for you, but for the whole fucking country. Why it doesn't make sense to me when people have that mentality. You know what I mean?
There's people who like to portray that they have the mentality of a patriot, and they want all the accolades of like being patriotic standing up for the country. Like I can't stand when I see somebody like getting really pissy about like somebody like burning a flag or something like that. Listen. I don't fucking agree with flag burning.
Right.
But I will defend your right to burn a fucking flag.
Right.
Why? Because it's your right as an American.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to burn the American flag, if you want to jerk off into the American flag, take a shit, and deliver a baby with it,
I'll probably wash it in between, but
like all I'm saying is it's your fucking right. You don't have to agree with it, but that's
that's
one of the things
like,
that's great about America.
Free speech and shit like that, where you should be able to have the right to say, even if I don't agree with it and I think it's completely wrong, or if it is completely wrong and on a moral standpoint, someone should still have the right, anyone should have the right to say whatever the fuck they want about it. That's our main thing, especially with this podcast that we do, you know what I mean? Well, there's a lot of things that, get us in trouble. We had an issue when we very first started. All of our content got flagged and we got taken down because, it's considered hate speech and this and that. It's like, no, we're expressing an opinion on things. Right. Doesn't necessarily mean if you don't agree with it, that's fine. That's your right. The same right I have as me saying what I fucking want to say.
Right, of course.
And it should work both ways. And it shouldn't be where, he said something offensive, we got to take it away. It's like, no, let him say what the fuck he wants to say because it's his fucking right. Same right as you not to listen to it. Same right as you to be offended by it. It's the same fucking concept. And it's dumb.
Dude, there's so many issues. There's so many problems. just like I spoke about, you know, the whole minimum wage thing, the whole, like, of course we're seeing the issues of people not going back to work. Of course, that was just bound to happen, and we're probably going to keep seeing that as long as they're rolling out the unemployment the way that they're doing it.
Well, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, why would you not?
Like, I've talked about how I recently lost my job, right? And I know someone that's on unemployment right now from my previous job, and I talked to them recently, and I was just like, hey, are you still looking for a job, or are you just going to stick with that? And they're just like, no, I'm sticking with this. And I was like, you know what? I can't knock you for it. I'm not going to say shit about you for it. For like, I've got family who are on it and shit like that. They've been on it for months. Like, there's nothing but benefits to it. If you were making less money than you are doing that, it's a fucking
You know
crime.
what's so funny though about that whole situation? Because I'm in the same like mentality as you are with that whole situation. With if it makes sense, right? Why wouldn't you do that? But it's so funny because I feel like now, especially with the whole pandemic, which I guess that kind of is the little wrench in the whole situation, which is a little bit different than it has been previously, you know, forever. But there's always been people that have been, you know, welfare babies, you know, or like welfare families, or food, you know, and they really rely on the, you know, the system. But and they're doing the same thing essentially what everyone else is doing now. It's just now it's affecting everyone, so it's not wrong, or it's not looked at as wrong, I guess, which is kind of like a conundrum. It's just weird. Like,
no, I agree. It's
like contradicts itself.
You
in a
give
sense.
Things different names, and people are, you know, like you could take a brand and like change the name or something like that. You rebrand something. Like psychologically, people are like, this is a different thing.
No, for sure.
So like you take,
I mean, like I said, because the pandemic,
programs or anything like that, you know, safety nets and shit like that, you change them and you call them something else, and people are like, I like that. You know,
they do that both ways. You know,
I like that. That's pretty good.
No, they've done that both ways, where they give it some like really fucking peachy name, and it's like the act of like killing like all this like this whole fucking woods and like this crazy thing. It's like, but this is the lovely green, we love everyone and trees act,
right?
And it's like,
well,
yeah,
the
but they destroy
that notoriously when
for sure
when you have like school shooters and stuff like that, instead of addressing them as terrorists and shit,
it's like the troubled young man.
Yeah, they have like all these adjectives that they use instead of calling them terrorists or murderers or anything. Like, it's so funny. But
I saw something on Facebook, it makes me think,
like, the same people who have issues with all of these things have issues with like government programs and safety nets, right? You know what I mean? Like Social Security and fucking food stamps and all these things. They're always like up in arms about, like, first of all, from like birth to like, I would say around to like almost 10, I was living in those situations. You know what I mean? Where I was dirt fucking poor in the trenches, in the fucking ghetto, living like the fucking shittiest. Right? So I can't be like, oh, those didn't help people, because everyone around me, literally my entire environment, was nothing but people who relied on these systems to survive.
No, I have firsthand experience as well, like seeing it like actually helping and benefiting people.
And it was all we could use to rely on were these programs that were the things that were saving us: child support, food stamps, all of these things.
I mean, you definitely hear the cases where people are abusing the system and taking advantage of it.
For sure, I know plenty.
But I feel like that's such a small fraction compared to the people that are actually using it and benefiting from it and using and also
it's so weird that people
it.
Get upset with like these little like people, like just normal people abusing these systems in these small minuscule ways, versus these massive corporations that are abusing the system in these monstrous ways, and they're like, I mean, that's totally cool.
We recently saw that with all the fucking the bullshit with the stocks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like that was the biggest like example.
Complete bullshit.
You know, it's exactly that, where they're getting fucked and they're like, whoa, hold on, now it's affecting us, so we're gonna be like, we're gonna start limiting
we're gonna start limiting what you guys can and can't do in the free market of the stock exchange.
Wait, what? What'd you just tell me?
Which is supposed to be just openly available to everyone.
Right.
These corporations then try and step in and get legislation passed to limit what you can and can't do with the stock exchange as just an individual who wants to earn a fucking decent living, which is something that is supposed to be available to everybody. But they've gotten so big and so heavy-handed with the sacks of cash that they carry around that they feel like they can fucking throw their weight around and influence everything.
And
for
the
the most part,
they can. That's the sad, that's the sad part about the whole situation. And I think, like I said, that situation proves it both ways, where they want it all for them, and then they also showed you, like, we have the power, we have the money to stop this and be like, hold on, it's affecting us now. Let's do something about it, and something can be done. But you know what? I don't know. This was kind of a very political episode, not by any means on purpose or anything.
I don't know where it came from, honestly. Like I just felt like talking about that whole like these workers not going back to work. I just thought, hey, this is fucking. I thought it was really funny that like. All of these corporations are freaking out about it. All these people are complaining. Like, I pull up to the drive-through window and nobody's here. They've got these signs in the window that say like they had to close because they have no workers.
I know. I think it was.
But instead of these corporations going like, maybe we should pay them more.
No, get this shit. I don't remember which fast food restaurant it was, but it was like turn in an application and get a free McChicken or some shit like that.
Hilarious.
I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, pay them 25 cents more.
I did see a thing on TikTok where it was like, apply for the army and you get a pair of AirPods. It was like an army recruiter and they were set up and they had like a picture of AirPods there.
I would have just robbed them.
It was so fucking funny. But no, like literally we have the issue of like, they don't even want to. Like, then you have people who are just like, oh, if we raise the minimum wage, all these other, like, smaller businesses can't pay their employees that much. If you cannot afford to pay your employees a livable wage, I'm sorry, no matter how nice you are, no matter how nice of people you are, no matter how much of a staple to the community you are, but if you cannot afford to pay your employees a livable wage, these people who you are responsible for, their families having the food in their mouths because you're supposed to be giving them the money to feed their families, then you don't deserve to be in business. Right. It should be illegal that you can't fucking pay them a livable wage.
Well, I think the issue with the whole, increasing the minimum wage is, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, things that affect me here in Florida don't affect me in Arizona. Right. Well, prices, things, they're just completely different. Or like so the minimum wage isn't going to be like a set thing, like everyone in America, $15.
Right. No, of course.
But they need to go in and do like, I guess like, studies or whatever the fuck it is, but really go in and do a deep dive and figure out like, what is the minimum wage?
You always have,
what can we do?
What I've seen like about it, right, is that you always have people going like, well, they raised it in Portland or Seattle or something like that, and these are all the downfalls of it. But then someone else would be like, well, they raised it in this other state and everything is going great and it's still doing that. So then you'll have these two different scenarios and two different situations where it worked and it didn't work, and they're comparing them to each other. And these people are saying it can work because it worked here for sure and it's still working. These people are saying it can't work because it didn't work here and it's still not working. How about we take what worked and didn't work, we figure it out for this scenario. Right. Isn't that the fucking idea? Not every idea is going to work if we take them from every place, but we figure out what does and doesn't work here, and that's how we fix things.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You got to specifically figure out what works for this community. You know what I mean?
It's so
and not compare it to other places because it's not the same.
It's frustrating, dude. Like it literally, like so many people would rather we just go, no, we'll just fucking keep doing the same thing we're doing. We know that people can't survive. We've got people living in shelters and stuff like that. You can't feed your kids. Fuck it. Like we're just like we're the top like 5%, right? Like we're doing great. Right. And there's what really bothers me is when people who are living in the same sort of situations, living below poverty lines and stuff like that, and they're also like against all of these changes and stuff. I'm like, we're trying to help you. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm over here living below the fucking poverty line too. I'm trying to get myself help. It's so difficult.
I haven't really ran into that myself, but that is just mind-boggling to have that mentality.
It's like running into a lot of the Trump supporters you see down here, because we live in Central Florida. We don't live in like the parts of Florida where there's a shit ton of like where we're surrounded by mansions everywhere, and it's all the rich people from like Miami and stuff like that, all these fancy neighborhoods. Sure, there's plenty of like conservative people there who are supportive of like the things he believes, right?
But well, I remember even seeing the map though when it showed like the breakdown of county of where who voted for which. Central Florida was not a Trump voting area anyway.
Right, but you see the I'll be like honest, like you see a lot of the redneck hillbilly like Trump supporters and shit like that. What best interest does he have for you?
Yeah.
In seriousness, right? I understand if you're pro Second Amendment, I'm pro Second Amendment. I understand if you're pro-military, I'm pro-military. I understand all of these things. You can be all of these things, but still say to yourself, it's still a poorer choice, right? For me personally, because as we all know, seeing those fucking hillbillies riding around in trucks that are like one tire doesn't even fit the fucking wheel well, like it's ridiculous. Like the
big old fucking Trump flag in the back.
Yeah, it's rusted to shit. Like they've been driving the same truck for 7 generations. Like those people can't fucking possibly be benefiting from like anything he has to say about like minimum wage or taxes or health care, right? Because you're missing 75% of your teeth and you need a fucking kidney replacement and stuff like that, right? So like you're agreeing with this man because you agree on these very specific policies, but at the end of the day, isn't it a detriment to yourself, right?
Well, that's why I mean we've had the conversation before when we have talked about politics on other episodes where it almost feels ridiculous the fact that we do have these two parties where you have to be loyal completely to one side or other, and it doesn't make sense to like, oh yeah, I'm left, but I kind of agree with some of the things, right? Like, no, stop right there. It doesn't work like that.
I know.
You can't have the
I get
mindset
into arguments with people like
of
that.
both sides. No, it doesn't work like that. It's like, how? Why does it not work like that?
I've defended Trump before.
Name me any other situation where an absolute yes or no is that what it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that in real life. There is no absolute. It just doesn't work like that. So I don't understand why
situations
we continue
being
to do
black
our
or
politics.
white are rare.
No, for sure.
There are times when you know for sure a situation is wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where you're just like
different.
any asshole that's just like, no. Well, I mean, hold on, slavery, guys, hold on.
Hear me out.
Slavery. Remember when we had them on farms? Like, no, but seriously, there are situations that are black and white. But in the grand scheme of things, in the reality of everything, the world is gray. Most of the situations are gray that you're going to come across. And like just saying it's either this or this is the way that we have a broken system. That's how broken systems work, is that we have people who aren't willing to compromise with each other, and they're so diametrically opposed to each other that nobody wants to meet in the middle.
Yeah. It's sad and until honestly we can
I didn't mean for this to become political or anything like that. And like I said, like I've defended Donald Trump before because a lot of people have tendencies to spread misinformation about this. I've been critical of him. I've defended him. I've done all this. I'm not a supporter of his, and I have no problem with people who are supporters of his. I have a problem with people who pretend to be logical but act illogically. Right? Like someone who says, this is what's best for me. This is what's best for our country. That couldn't possibly be further from the truth if you actually examine the situation.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it boils down to...
I want what's best for this country.
Yeah, no. It boils down to, like I said, you are affected only by this small area of things. So you can't see. It's almost like an ant. You know what I mean? Their world is just this little area that they fucking live. They if they went like 5 houses down to me, like from my house, it's a whole new fucking place. You know what I mean? It's nothing that they have seen on their journey there would be what they have known in their little area. And it just doesn't affect them, so they don't give a fuck about it. It's for all they know, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
So it's the same situation, and honestly, I don't know, man.
I don't even know how much time we have left on this.
We could actually wrap it up. I was to say, we didn't mean to be political on this one, but we had some shit to say, I guess. So
yeah, that was interesting. We probably spent like the last 30, 40 minutes or so. Like
it's probably a good 45. It was a good chunk of it, honestly. So,
all right,
fuck
guys. We appreciate you tuning into this. And honestly, if you felt like you couldn't sit through us having this discussion, I feel like we were being pretty fair about the whole thing.
That's all
you know
you're
what
right.
I mean? Like, if what you do come here for is us to talk about things and really explain ourselves and our point of view and our opinions, then I feel like you wouldn't have any problem with anything we just said. You know what I mean?
And I think like the people that do like to listen to us and are fans of us, that's the reason why they are fans of us.
I can understand some people being like, this was too much of a political.
No, episode. I mean, I completely
But I think
understand
ultimately we talked
too.
about what we thought was important and stuff that we think is pertinent to what's going on right now. You know what I mean? So we had stuff that we had to get off our chests, and
it's our podcast, so we get to say what the fuck we want.
Right, it's our podcast. You don't get to tell us if we can be political or not, you fuckers.
If we want to
we've tried to not be super political before, but I think what we talked about was really fair.
No, for sure.
Literally just examining things how they are and how they could be better.
No,
right?
So for sure.
I think if you disagree with that, I don't know. Maybe you have to re-examine the way you look at something.
Yeah. And
That's all we ask.
If you do disagree with us, comment.
Go ahead, comment. Let us know. We'll delete it.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
We're gonna report your channel.
Put you in Facebook jail with Billy
Thanks,
Eilish.
guys, for checking out the newest episode of the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast.
Yep.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Rob Lowe's assistant.
Yeah. And make sure you're following us on all social media platforms, Facebook,
Correct.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us with our username @RealCleanCloset. You can find us on our Facebook with @RealCleanCloset, or you can use the full podcast name, The Cleaning Out My Closet Podcast. You should also be following us on every platform you can find a podcast on. Spotify, Apple, and of course our YouTube channel, The Cleaning Out My Closet Podcast. Basically, if there's a platform for podcasts, you should check it out and see if we're on there or not. Let us know too.
Yeah.
And make sure you're emailing, commenting on our YouTube channel, liking the videos, sharing them with people, you fuckers.
Yeah, definitely. Start if you are like genuinely like enjoying the shit we're putting out. Share it to someone. Fuck it. Why not? You know, if you're getting a good laugh out of it, or you just find it entertaining. We had a nice little bump in
subscribers recently too, which was great.
It was.
It happened while we weren't even putting shit out for months.
Yeah, and then I noticed too. We kind of we dropped 4 episodes. You know, a week or so, probably like 2 weeks, going on 2 weeks now. But they did pretty decent. You know, there was a little gap in between. You know,
so
what
guys,
we recorded.
Make sure you're commenting. Give us suggestions for episodes, topics to talk about. Make sure you're emailing us at.
That's cleaningoutmypodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And that's it. If you have a question, suggestion, just anything really, just fucking send us an email. If you don't want to send us a comment on YouTube or whatever, just fucking send us an email. That's cleaningoutmypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, make sure you put in the subject line your social security number.
Yeah.
We need your date of birth, your mother's maiden name, your current address.
Go ahead and put your credit card number and then that 3-digit
Can you include like a PDF of your like thumbprints?
Oh, yes.
We're going to need that as well.
Semen sample.
And kiss your dad for us.
Mwah.